Once upon a time, in a charming town there lived an old and loving woodworker named Geppetto. Geppetto won the love of the townspeople with his warm, brown eyes and smiling face. Geppetto was a happy man who made wooden toys and loved children very much. However, he had not had a child despite his great desire, and therefore he felt broken in his heart. One day, while Geppetto was hiking in the woods, he found a magical piece of wood that glowed in the sun. This piece of wood shines differently from other woods. Geppetto decided to take this special piece of wood to his home and make a puppet worthy of its shine. Geppetto spent all night carving the magic wooden piece he found and turning it into a puppet. When he finished the puppet, he realized that he felt love for it like his son and decided to name it Pinocchio. It was almost morning when Geppetto went to bed. He fell asleep thinking that he really wished he had a son like that. Hearing this sincere wish of Geppetto, the Blue Fairy decided to fulfill his biggest wish in life. In the morning, the puppet Pinocchio began to speak and move with the touch of Blue Fairy. Pinocchio's lively brown eyes, red cheeks, and warm smile were more than just an ordinary puppet. Thanks to Geppetto's love and the power of the magic wood, Pinocchio had grown into a living being who has feelings. Geppetto treated him like a father and raised him with love. Geppetto and Pinocchio had great times together. Pinocchio, who learned wood carving from Geppetto. One evening, Pinocchio was laying in his bed and dreaming, looking up at the sky, full of twinkling stars. Staring at the dazzling stars, he sighed, wished to had a real body like the other kids. This wish was a sincere request that came from the deep of his heart. At that moment, almost magically, a blue light appeared in the sky and the Blue Fairy reappeared. Deciding to help Pinocchio, the Blue Fairy softly told him that, in order to be a real boy, he had to behave well, be honest, and be respectful of others. Pinocchio listened carefully to the Blue Fairy's words and promised the fairy that he would not break his word. The Blue Fairy told Pinocchio that he would befriend a talking cricket named Jiminy Cricket. Notable for its hat and coat, the cricket would become Pinocchio's guide and best friend. Time has passed. Now grown up, Pinocchio started to go to school and made many new friends there. His classmates loved his cheerful and energetic personality. Pinocchio learned a lot from his teachers and had a good time with his friends. One day, while returning from school, he met a fox and a cat on the road. These two were cunning and sneaky looking, and they were all too eager to befriend Pinocchio. Not realizing the danger, Pinocchio began to spend time with these two new friends. However, as he spent time with them, he gradually began to distance himself from his friends and teachers at school. His two new friends had a bad influence on Pinocchio's misbehavior and lying. One day, Pinocchio was going to buy books for school with the money he received from his father in his pocket. Seeing Pinocchio, the fox and the cat started a conversation by blocking Pinocchio's path. They distracted Pinocchio for so long that Pinocchio had to return home before he could get the books he needed. He was in trouble, and as he was thinking about how to explain this to his father, the Blue Fairy suddenly appeared before him. The fairy saw that Pinocchio was in trouble and wanted to help him. However, there was one condition. In exchange for help, Pinocchio would become an honest boy who didn't lie, and if he lied, it would be understood by everyone.
One day, the fox and the cat reappeared again. They persuaded Pinocchio to go to the circus established in the town, who went to buy the materials his father needed. When Pinocchio saw the circus, he was impressed by the amusement park set in the middle and the colorful toys. With all the money in his pocket, he bought 3 tickets for himself and 2 of his friends. When he came out of the park, he had not bought the supplies his father needed, and moreover, he had spent all his money. Pinocchio was very upset. Back home, he wondered how to explain to old Geppetto why he hadn't gotten the supplies he needed. At that moment, the Blue Fairy appeared again. Pinocchio knew his mistake, but did not want to tell the truth. When the fairy asked why he was upset, he changed the story, telling that the cat and the fox extorted his money and went to the circus. Suddenly, Pinocchio's nose started to grow. Pinocchio knew he was lying, but his nose had never grown before. The fairy reminded Pinocchio of his promise about lying, and said that his nose was getting longer because he lied. Pinocchio was very embarrassed. From that day on, he tried to be an honest boy, but lost his father's trust during his friendship with Fox and Cat. Old Geppetto thought that Pinocchio was a child who could misbehave and lie at times. Pinocchio was very upset that he broke his father's trust. He decided to tell his father the truth and never lie again. That evening, he told Geppetto about his adventures, the dangers he faced, and the lessons he learned from them. Geppetto was delighted to learn that Pinocchio learned from his mistakes. In the loving arms of Geppetto, he learned the value of kindness and honesty. One day, Geppetto put out to sea in a fishing boat, but an unexpected storm diverted him from his course and caused him to disappear. The boat drifted offshore with the waves and came near a big whale. At that time, Pinocchio began to worry that his father would not return home and decided to set sail with his friend Jiminy Cricket to find old Geppetto and save him from danger. Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket encountered a huge whale in the middle of the sea. The whale was standing in front of Geppetto's boat and would not let them pass. Pinocchio came up with a clever plan, removing the feather from his hat and tickling the whale's nose, causing the whale to sneeze. The whale finally took a deep breath, sneezed heavily, and, under the influence of the sneeze, quickly disappeared into the sea. Geppetto admired Pinocchio's courage and intelligence. Pinocchio had risked to save his father, proving both his courage and how much he loved his father. Geppetto embraced Pinocchio with love and gratitude and said that he was proud of him. The Blue Fairy was also deeply moved by Pinocchio's journey to become a real child, seeing the courage, honesty, and loving behavior he showed. Pinocchio had shown himself to be an honest and kind-hearted boy, and the Blue Fairy brought his wooden body to life, deciding that Pinocchio now deserves to be a real boy with a warm and living body.